Hey guys, it's Cece, and today I'm here to do the Birthstone Book Tag. I was tagged to do this tag by the creator Jay from her channel JG, and I'll leave the link to the original video down below so you can go and check it out. There are 12 questions total for this tag, one for each different birthstone for each different month, and basically there is a birthstone for each month and the meaning behind that birthstone, and then we're going to answer some questions based on those meanings. So yes, this is a really fun tag, and it's taken me a little while to get to it, and yeah, I'm excited that I finally got to it because these are some really fun questions. So let's just jump right in and start talking about some birthstone themed questions. Before we get started on the tag, I also just wanted to announce that I randomly chose a winner for the South of Sunshine giveaway. It was totally random, and I picked the winner, and the winner of the giveaway was Anna Miranda. And so you won the copy, you get this copy of South of Sunshine, so email me at problemsofabooknerd@gmail.com and we will get it figured out so that I can ship this book to you and you can enjoy reading it. Please email me in the next couple of days so that I know that you saw this and that you want the book, and yeah, so email me, let me know, and we can work out sending this to you. Anyway, now that that's taken care of, back to the tag. So the first question is January, and that is a garnet. And garnet is associating with warding off dark forces or like negative energies. So name a book with the darkest or most evil character you can think of. I kind of try to avoid answering Harry Potter in a lot of these tag videos because then every tag's just going to be about Harry Potter. So we'll just say Out of Hand, Umbridge, clearly super like evil, like legitimately just seems to be a terrible person, and we'll just kind of, you know, that one's there. And the other one that I would definitely say is Count Olaf from A Series of Unfortunate Events. It's a children's series, you know, it's middle grade, and he's still one of the most, like, legitimately evil characters that I can remember encountering. Because, you know, for me, most of the time the mark of a good villain is that there are reasons behind their evil nature. And that's why the mayor from the Chaos Walking trilogy is one of my favorite villains, because he's really complex. But Count Olaf works in that he's not complex at all. He's like an evil person, he wants money, he'll do whatever it takes to get the money from the Baudelaire orphans, and he's scary because of it, because he's legitimately just an evil person. Question number 2 is February, which is amethyst, and purple is associated often with royalty, so I'm supposed to name a book with regal qualities. And for this question, I'm going to say A Little Princess by Frances Hodgson Burnett. Very interesting, because the other one I was considering, A Little Prince, is also by Frances Hodgson Burnett, so take from that what you will. I really like Frances Hodgson Burnett. But this is just a really, really sweet book that doesn't necessarily, like, star a princess, but it's kind of about the fact that every girl is a princess. That sounds kind of like silly, but it's like a legitimately really good book and a very like important message. I grew up watching the movie and then I read the book when I was still pretty young, but it's just a story that's always impacted me, and it's just a very, very good story, and I feel like it inspired such books that I love now as The Princess Academy. That's just the feeling I get because I adore The Princess Academy, and it just gives off the same feeling as A Little Princess does. The next one made me so sad because the next question is March, which is Aquamarine, and I am a March baby, so I was like, okay, what's the question for March? Basically, Aquamarine is washed out, so I'm supposed to name a wishy-washy character or a character who's not strong. So yeah, for my birth month, it's time for me to talk about a character I really don't like. A character that I think is not strong as far as characterization, that's the angle I took on this question, is I said Rowan from the Throne of Glass series. I've talked plenty on my channel about how I feel about Queen of Shadows and the general characterization that went on in that book, but I just feel like Rowan was a totally new and different character by the time you got to that book, and his character development mostly didn't make sense, and it was weird, and I didn't like any of it. So yeah, I don't think he's a very strong character, like character development wise, writing wise. I think he was changed to fit whatever scenario needed to be fit in the moment. So yeah, Rowan for March. Question number 4 is April, which is a diamond. So a diamond in the rough. Name a book that is not well known that you really love. For this one, I'm going to say Honey Girl by Lisa Freeman. Like, This has under 300 ratings, I think, on Goodreads, which is crazy. And mostly I think it's because it is an incredibly bizarre book. I think you have to set yourself down and get ready for a weird, weird ride when you read this book. And if you're not ready for it, I think a lot of people DNF'd it because they couldn't get into the writing style or the weird language or the, like, kind of surreal world of the beach culture that was being built. But I mean, this is a queer book, and it takes place in the 70s on the beach, and although it's surreal, it has some really interesting characters, and it's such a bizarre world that feels so completely realistic, and it completely sucked me in, and I really enjoyed it. And while looking into this question, I found out that Lisa Freeman is writing a sequel, which is awesome, because I definitely want to know more about what happened with a couple of characters at the end of this book. Question number 5 is May, or Emerald, which is said to balance energy. So it is time for me to name 2 characters who balance each other. So I have 2 answers for this, one that is a relationship and one that is a friendship, and I think that each of them balance one another very, very well. So the first one is Katza and Poe from Graceling by Kristen Cashore. I think that they are a beautiful, like, friendship on their own without a relationship, because I think that they just balance one another so well, where one of them is brash and rushes into things, the other one can be calmer and think things through more. They're just, like, so much about them that works, which is why they're one of my favorite couples of all time. I just absolutely love the way that they balance one another out, and the way that they just, like, make it through stuff together. I just really appreciate the way that they balance one another. And the other one that I want to mention is from Everything Leads to You. I really, really love the friendship balance between Emmy and Charlotte. They are best friends, and it's actually one of those few young adult contemporary books where, like, it makes sense that they're best friends, because it happens so often in YA that you'll be like, why are you two friends? This doesn't make sense. And in this book, it felt like it really made sense why they had become friends in the first place, and it showed how long that they'd known one another, that they knew when to ask questions and when not to talk about stuff, or when to just kind of leave each other alone, when one of them really needed a movie night or really needed to talk, any of that. They just instinctually, like, knew that about one another, and I loved that. Next is question number 6, and that is June, or a Pearl, which is associated with loyalty. So name a character who is loyal to the end. I'm not gonna say too much about this one, but people who've read the Chaos Walking trilogy will get me. I'm gonna go with Manchi from the Chaos Walking trilogy by Patrick Ness. Loyal to the end, and I'm still crying about it. Question number 7 is July, or a Ruby, which is blood red. So name a book that made your blood boil or made you angry. I already mentioned this earlier, so I'll just mention again. Queen of Shadows made me a very, very angry cookie. I was furious when I was reading Queen of Shadows. Since I've already talked about Queen of Shadows, I'm gonna go with You by Caroline Kepnes, because I was so frustrated for the majority of the book because I just, like, couldn't see what other people were, like, raving about, and I was just kind of frustrated by that. And each progressive page when I didn't get it, and I just got progressively angrier and angrier with Joe and with Beck and with the world in general. I got super angry reading this book. So yeah, no, not a happy person reading You at all. The next question is August, or a Peridot? Peridot? To be honest with you, I didn't know this one, and the only time I've ever seen the name is in conjunction with Steven Universe, which I don't watch, but I'm aware of, and I've been pronouncing this incorrectly, so... Anyway, it is pale green, or it pales in comparison to other gems. So, name a supporting character that you liked more than the main character. That's what I went with 2 again, oops. The first one is Enna from the Books of Bayern series by Shannon Hale. This one doesn't totally count because Enna does get her own book, the second book, Enna Burning, but in the first book, I was like, Enna, my love. And then she got her own book, and I was like, this solidifies it. This solidifies that I love you a lot more than Isi. So, yeah, it doesn't quite count because she did get her own book, but I was there with her from the beginning. I love Enna. And the other one I want to say is Susanna from the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy by Laini Taylor. I think that Susanna's fantastic. I love her. I mean, I saw a lot of myself in Susanna. I wouldn't go jumping into crazy stuff, but, like, I saw a lot of myself reflected in her. She was funny. She was a great friend, and she was willing to just kind of jump into things, and she was sweet. Overall, I absolutely loved her. I loved her, and, you know, Kaoru was great, but she had this whole, like, love thing going on that was kind of like, the love to end all other loves, and that's, like, not totally my thing, and Susanna had, like, a romance also, but it was just sweet and cute, and I love her. Next up is September, which is Sapphire, and that is blue like the ocean, which is calming. So I'm supposed to name a book that had a calming effect on me. First of all, I just want to say Mad Apple by Christina Meldrum. I didn't like this book at all, but it had the weirdest calming effect on me. Like, when I read it all in one sitting in the middle of a summer rainstorm, and I turned off all the lights, and I just had my little lamp, and I read the whole thing in one go, and even though I didn't like it, it had a bizarrely calming effect on me, and it's just like the atmosphere of reading that book is stuck with me. And the other one that definitely created a very distinct atmosphere was This One Summer by Jillian and Mariko Tamaki. This is a graphic novel about growing up, and it's about summer. These are both about summer. That's weird. But it just creates such a distinct atmosphere in this book, and the art style creates such, like, a vibe, and the whole time I was reading it, I just felt really calm and mellow and really involved in the story. Next up is October, which is opal, and so the word that we were given was iridescent. And then we were told to name an iridescent book. This could be the cover that's, you know, shiny or rainbow, or it could be like a character who's really quirky and something more along those lines. I decided to go with a cover, and I have it with me, but it is at the bottom of this big stack, so honestly, I can't pull it out. I can't bring myself to do it. I'm gonna go with Eon by Alison Goodman. This only has like a specific spectrum of colors to it, but it's so shiny, and the way the light like reflects off it is really nice. It makes it really colorful and shiny and sparkly. Yeah, I probably should have pulled the book out for this question to show you that it was iridescent, but I did not because it's really hard to move this stack of books. November is Topaz, which is associated with resilience. So name a character who rises to the top in the face of adversity. And I was looking at all my books, and I felt like a lot of these were going to be, you know, female lead characters, dystopian books, that kind of thing. I decided I wanted to go with one from a little farther back because I don't talk about the series as often, and that is Tally from the Ugly series by Scott Westerfeld. This is an older dystopian book, but, like, I absolutely love Tally, and for the 3 books that I read, because I never really wanted to read extras, she just stands out as this person who things get tough a lot, and she goes back and forth, but she kind of always rises to the top in all of those times of struggle, and I always really appreciated Tally, so I had to go with her. Finally, we have December, which is Blue Zircon, and that is associated with friendship, so name a book friendship that you would like to be a part of. I'm gonna go with a super obvious one here, guys, and I'm gonna say The Golden Trio. I know I said I couldn't answer Harry Potter questions for all of these, but it's just this last one, and could I even say anything else? Of course I would like to be a part of that friend group, and if not the Golden Trio, then, you know, the wider group of them, Dumbledore's army, that kind of crew. They're such good friends. They're like the ultimate book friendship. I'd love to be a part of it. Okay guys, there you go. That is the Birthstone Book Tag. These were a lot of really, really fun questions, so make sure you go and check out Jay's channel. Thank you so much for creating this tag and for tagging me to do it. It was a lot of fun. In the comments below, let me know your favorite side character who you think is better than the main character. I'd be most curious to hear about that one. Anyway, can't wait to read all of those. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in another video very soon. Bye!